Okay. Yeah. Okay, I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 15th, 2025 to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Holy Spirit, come. Make haste to help us, open our hearts and our minds to see the light that you provide, Lord, of peace not of this world, but of you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone signed up? I don't see anybody.
There's not.
Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number three, payroll change notices. We have A, B, C, D, and E. What's the pleasure?
Madam President, there's just one change on E. Originally, part of the salary was going to come out of the assessor's vow fund. Instead, it'll just be absorbed in 401. The whole salary.
I guess I want to still have some questions about that, but we can talk about that after the meeting.
Okay.
Move to approve payroll change notices A through E.
Motion to approve payroll changes A through E. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. On C, rather than let's start this young lady out at 4.1. Instead of 3, so that's like.
Okay.
Does that work for you, David? Is that okay if you to amend?
Yeah, how much are we moving her up, Patsy?
What is it?
What is she right now?
3.1 is $16.41 an hour. It moves it up about $1 an hour to a 4.1.
I don't have the issue unless you have an issue.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I mean, as long as she's not making more than somebody that's been here. That's okay.
Okay, amend my motion to move up
See,
agenda item C or employee C to, what was it you wanted, Patsy?
$16 for 1 cent. No, sorry, it was going to be 16.41, but now it'll be 4.1. Commissioner.
she's a 4.1 and she's moving from a 3.1 to a 4.1.
Correct.
Okay, so she'll come in at a 4.1 on the
Okay.
payroll.
Any further discussion on the amended motion? The change from a 3.1 to a 4. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings, A through C.
Madam President, I do have one change on C, regular meeting minutes for December 18th. The ones that are attached to the packet had that just the one was tabled, that F was tabled under payroll change notices. The corrected minutes reflect that F and G were both tabled.
Move to approve the minutes as presented, A, B, and C
With
With the
the,
with the
clarification.
clarifications.
once that's received.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to approve A, B, and C with the changes to be made as presented, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices, A and B. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve requisitions B and A for the ARPA for large Tepes Ball PSD.
Motion to approve 5A, ARPA enlarged Pepsi Ball PSD, and B, vendor list of payments. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, exoneration corrective tickets, joint property applications. It appears that we just have exonerations, correct?
That is correct, Madam President.
Okay, what's the pleasure?
Move to approve exonerations, item A as presented.
Motion to approve exonerations, item A as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B Development District Number 3, White Oaks Project Number 2, and Series 2008A Charles Point Project Number 2, Northland Bay Improvements. We have one for $560.50. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve 7A Series 2008 A for $560.50.
Motion to approve 7A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consider proposed application for the relief from erroneous assessment related to CED assessments due and payable for the 2017 tax year and the 2018, 19, 20, 21 tax and 22 tax years regarding Charles.
Madam President, I move we go into executive session and invite the assessor, prosecutor, counsel, and Mr. Amon.
Okay, motion's been made to go into executive session with the prosecutor, the assessor, and both counsel and ourselves
Yep.
and Laura, correct?
Yep.
For, yeah, what the reason?
Let's talk. It's not on the agenda.
At number 8, so I don't think we can go in. What we can do afterwards is we can have an informational meeting with the individuals identified who are here today for this purpose, but we can't deliberate towards a decision, and we should not go into executive session given the nature of this. But we will have an informational meeting after the meeting today.
And everything just for the record, she gave Mike.
So sure, yeah,
Yeah.
I said that,
Yes.
just,
Yeah, all involved officials, Mr. Amon. But let's do it for informational purposes only after the meeting. There will be no deliberation towards a decision at all.
so should we table this item or just carry it over or?
I would suggest, given the nature of it, that we carry it over to next week's agenda, given the timeliness of the issue and my understanding of where the project sits as a whole.
I know we disagree on this, but I think we can go into executive session according to the state as far as ethics goes, because it says you don't have to state whether or not you're going in. You can go into executive session. Also, if we go into a works or set or an informational meeting, then that means it's open to the public because we can't take that into a executive session. Correct?
Yeah, I don't,
So anybody that wants to attend that information, it's open to the public.
well, not necessarily. We can discuss things pursuant to the attorney-client privilege for informational purposes outside of the meeting, and there's no issue with that. That's what Mr. Amon's here to do today. My concern more than anything is given the nature of this issue and the parties involved. I don't want to go into executive session or suggest that you all do without it being on the agenda. It's my concern.
As far as that's concerned, Mr. Attorney, next week, since we're carrying over, we can go into executive session, post it on the agenda.
Certainly can. Yes, but we have the officials here today to discuss it. And Mr. Raymond's here to discuss it. And give you all some information, as I understand it, on the status of the project.
Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. And we'll just carry this item over to next week.
When's the next meeting?
2 weeks.
February 5th, I believe it is. Correct, February 5th.
Okay, number 9, review, discuss FOIA information that we requested from the city of Bridgeport. I spoke to Mr. Ford yesterday. He was not aware of the FOIA request. So he's getting the city clerk to gather the information and should have what we need within a couple weeks.
Madam President, apologize to you. He is aware.
He is aware now.
But he has been,
Okay,
yes, as a administrator.
So last week we sent it to him just as a courtesy because we realized when we originally sent this FOIA, he was not in that position. It was the interim city manager. And then Trey, would you like to give the update that we received?
Sure. So Bridgeport, after we sent the original FOIA request, they requested specific parcel identification, words.
Can you give us the date of that, Mr. Attorney?
It was months ago, on the exact date. Tom and I worked with UniPat to create a roster of parcels, properties, and involved players. We subsequently gave that immediately to Bridgeport. And we're still waiting for documents. They are working on the response. And that's where we are.
And they have how much stuff with that?
Typical period is 5 days, but we do work with, we request extensions to respond. It's a voluminous request. It's in nature, it's very broad. And it's designed to allow us to do some things.
And we have over the course of whatever year.
Before trying to do them.
I think that Mr. Manager did that. And
okay.
and asked the our administrator. Then what we have to decide is how much further we're going to get. We can see there. Stretch the line.
Well, we often request additional time as well. As a party, like, for example, we're responding to a very voluminous request now that continually broke our server and trying to do documents ready, so I think we should work with it.
What is good thing for that? Quarter of a year, half a year? A year?
That's pretty close. We try on our end to get documents as quickly as we can, but they are up against the city of Harrison County. At the front end, I was somewhat hesitant to get the FOIA all of the speed with it because they're a municipality in Harrison County. I told you all that. But they should work with us just like we try with it.
But everybody has been informed today, you know, that needs to be informed. Okay.
What are we gonna do with this information?
So
I mean, why did we request it?
information was requested so that we could, Tom's here, he can speak to it as well, so that we could get background information to look at the overall project from a cost perspective, to get a grasp on infrastructure within its area in relation to the assessments of it, as part of the due diligence for the potential refinancing, the restructuring of the project.
So before you speak, so we requested information from Bridgeport to give to Tom to use with negotiating with the bonding company?
Or
Well, who are you gonna use this information with?
people.
With us? With,
So.
what,
so-
okay, I'm just trying to, I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand why we ask for information about what the city does.
So cities have restructured its bonds. And one of them doing that is the city is insisting on that they have a right to consent to extending the duration of their. And as a basis for that, they've indicated that they are going to have maintenance costs associated with infrastructure in the last 15 years, the extension period for roads and utilities and what have you. So, part of the ask then is, they're indicating that they won't have property tax revenues. That's gonna be captured by the TIF to pay for the costs of upkeep things in the infrastructure. And so the commission is asking them, okay, well, what revenues do you derive from Charleston? And are there other revenues that they have to pay those costs? And so that's what the nature of that inquiry is.
Okay, nothing more to discuss on number 9. Okay, Number 10, review, discuss payroll change notice for Robert G. Matheny from Sheriff Robert G. Matheny II. You need to turn it on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, so this is with the Ethics Commission. I expect to have a response from them in February. That's where it is. I'd rather not, their process is confidential. They are looking at it, and they meet in early February, and I'm told. Yeah.
And this is the one. Okay,
I believe we just want to acknowledge that we received his email last Wednesday, discussing how it was omitted from the agenda.
okay. Anything else? Okay, number 11, review, discuss, consider budget revisions, A for general county.
These are just several budget revisions, Madam President, moving some money around within the same account number. Just to different line items.
Move to approve budget revisions, A, general county.
A motion to approve budget revisions for general county under A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 12, review, discuss, consider Wolf Summit Energy, A, pilot program, B, lease agreement with the potential executive session pursuant to 69A4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the county.
Move to go into executive session
Motion to go into executive session.
pursuant to 6-9A-4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property.
Motion to go into executive session pursuant to 69A4B as stated by Commissioner Hinkle. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Anyone coming into the executive session, so the records clear.
Oh,
Curtis,
Yes. And yourself. I think that's all we need. Yeah, Alan can come. Sheriff here.
Yeah.
You wanna come, Rachel? Um,
oh, all in favor signify by saying aye. With those. that
Yeah.
were just mentioned.
did you bring him in because he wrote this other?
I'm fine, it's great. He's not working on it, it's involved in.
Okay.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, what's the pleasure on number 12?
Make a motion to approve agenda item A, pilot agreement. And agenda item 12B, lease agreement for Wolf Summit Energy.
And affix the appropriate.
And to fix the appropriate signatures.
Okay. Motion is to approve 12A and B, the pilot agreement and lease agreement, and affix the appropriate signatures for signatures. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Okay. Number 13, review, discuss, consider resolution to apply for funds from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture for the West Virginia Spay and Neuter Assistance Program.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just requesting authorization to apply yesterday. Got rid of it yesterday.
Sorry, I just noticed it. Go ahead.
Doesn't mean it feels better, but it's gone. Anyway, just requesting authorization to apply for the West Virginia Department of Agriculture Spay and Neuter Assistant Grant. We do that every year. Each year, we seem to have more and more people wanting vouchers. So this year I'm up in the amount to 15,000. Just asking for your permission and your signature to do so.
What's the pleasure on 13?
Move to approve resolution to apply for funds for West Virginia Department of Agriculture or West Virginia Spray and Neuter Assistance Program.
And affix the appropriate signature.
And affix the appropriate signatures.
Motion to approve the resolution to apply for the funds from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture for the West Virginia Spay and Neuter Assistance Program and affix the appropriate signatures. Is there any discussion or questions of? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 14, Administrators Report.
I don't have anything today, Madam President.
Commissioner Treecost. I have nothing. Well, I do. I'm thankful that we have finally got to this point with the power plant. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody that's been involved. Tom, from the beginning, you were involved. I'm just glad we're here at this point. Commissioner Hinkle,
No, ma'am. Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried.